Hey everybody, this is Sha Kim. Tonight was very special. The Charleston County delegation actually met tonight to discuss the investigation of Charleston County School District's handling of the Marvin Gethers case. As you all know, on January 27, 2014, a Charleston County School District IT specialist was performing a routine virus scan of Marvin Gethers' district-issued laptop. Unfortunately, the results of that were they found child pornography. However, on October the 24th of 2014, Mr. Gethers was actually promoted and offered a new job as a parent advocate at Dunston Elementary in North Charleston. That position came with a raise, and his salary was $55,434. Community leaders and former employees and activists all spoke tonight and met about their concerns and what should be done moving forward to ensure transparency and integrity.
This was a good first step. This ad hoc committee. I was quite impressed by the brothers and sisters that showed up, and I was not impressed because there are other representatives who are supposed to be a part of this committee who didn't show up, who just so happen don't look like us. That's always a problem. You know, if these issues, the school board that really, and especially dealing with the subject of Marvin Gethers, which is predominantly dealing with African American children, that those other white counterparts who are part of this ad hoc committee didn't have enough wherewithal or had other things to do that they couldn't come out here tonight. You know, we always have to understand, have to ask the question, do they really understand that black lives really do matter? And so, yeah, I'll toss it out there like that. But those that are seated here tonight, the representatives, the representative-elects, Senator Kimpson, they did a great job as far as an initial meeting. They kept it sensible and clarified some issues dealing with the appointed attorney that's doing the investigation. But I think what was most impressive for me was that the people in the community, when they went to that microphone, every one of which I do have filmed, and they expressed themselves very eloquently about the shortcomings that we might have seen, or the gaps in between what was being said by the panel and what the community knows.
I thought it was very positive. Big shout out to Carter Cole because she started this. Big shout out to Keen working with it. I was happy to jump on and work with the brothers. You know, me, Jesse Thomas, Lewis, everyone, putting the word out. Thanks for everyone who came out. This is very positive. I want to see this go out. I want to see truth be exposed, and those who are guilty, I want to see face charges.
What are some of your concerns?
No personal disrespect to Johnson, but we can't trust him. I'm sorry. You're a sponsor for the Coalition for Kids. You've got a numerous history with the board. You were selected by the board. We can't trust that. It has to be an outside source. It's nothing to his character or who he is, but we can't have outside source. It's just like if someone was investigating me, I'm sure they wouldn't let you do my investigation. So.
Like I said, man, in the comments, man, FOIA's, Freedom of Information Act request is one thing. You got FOIA's pending, and so, right, FOIA is an administrative, not putting FOIA's out as an administrative issue. But who was not putting those FOIAs out? Who was responsible? Who was responsible for those FOIAs? Who was responsible for those on the departments to put the information out? And now you have FOIA requests not being met. So what I wanted to speak to was the fact that this is a personnel ad hoc committee. So we got to look at that. Now look, right now this FOIA request not being met. So what are the consequences? People should be fired now.
Interesting enough, Karen Black, who was the former communication officer during the time Marvin Gethers was employed by the district, she was there from November 2012 to July 2016. She spoke of her experience in the district with corruption, intimidation, dishonesty, which she says actually became the culture of Charleston County School District. Ms. Black also says she was involved with the promotion of Mr. Gethers. Her and her colleague, who actually still works for the district, they were not aware of the investigation of Mr. Gethers during the time they were offering him that promotion. She stated that she was very hurt between her and her colleague when they found out that Mr. Gethers was actually under investigation at the time that they awarded him.
My name is is Karen Black. I served as the communications officer for the Charleston County School District at 75 Calhoun from November of 2012 through July of 2016. I've spoken to some of you in this room and some of you on this committee already about some of the information that I would like to share because this situation has always felt very personal to me because I was one of the unwitting employees who promoted Mr. Gethers' award that he received from the district, which included an iPad and the use of a district car for the year. It was the Administrative Professional of the Year award. And because I was in the communications department, myself and another colleague who still works at CCSD were in charge of all of the promotions around that. When we found out what was going on, it was the day that he was arrested on the campus of Dunston and basically hauled away by the North Charleston police. Myself and my colleague who had been involved in promoting him as a wonderful employee who went the extra mile for students and deserved this award. She and I were both sick for weeks, months. I'm still sick about it. And so that's why I'm speaking out. So that's who I am. But I'm here tonight specifically to spend the last minute of my 3 minutes expressing a few other things for you that are the 20,000-foot view of what might be going on at Charleston County School District. You started out by laying out that your mission here is the fair and equitable treatment of employees at CCSD, and also that CCSD follow their policies and procedures and are fair to their personnel. I want to let you know that the organization, and I worked under 3 superintendents there, it has a cancerous work culture. It has a work culture that unfortunately condones poor management, poor oversight of things like FOIA requests, and not just poor oversight of those things, but sometimes active discussion of how to avoid answering a FOIA request, which my ears have been privy to in my 3 years and 8 months there. The organization and the district itself, my 3 minutes are up. The organization and the district itself.
Ms. Black, how long did you work?
I worked there 3 years and 8 months.
We don't mind if you go over and bring that.
I didn't think so. The organization and the district itself has that culture there that predated me by I don't know how many years and decades, and has continued since I left in July of 2016. And it goes beyond any specific administration or specific board members to something that I don't know if your committee will be able to get to the root of, but I wanted to mention that, and I'm happy to talk about it more individually with the committee. I also wanted to just mention briefly that I have been involved in multiple situations in my position there where I felt that my ethics and morals were on the verge of being compromised or being asked to be compromised. And there were things that I reported to employee relations when I worked there that either fell on deaf ears or were investigated and the wrong people were punished and let go. So I have information that does not even have to do with Mr. Gethers, but it's just about this work culture. And last but not least, I want to say I've only met Mr. Johnson a few times, but I met him because for the last 2 years I've worked in the philanthropic sector for the Community Foundation. And Wilbur Johnson is a wonderful attorney. He's also a philanthropist and a wonderful human being. But I would like to mention to the committee that I do think there is some interconnectedness with Mr. Johnson and his firm and his involvement in philanthropy and the philanthropic community here in the Low Country and their connections with the school districts, the incumbent candidates who just won the election, etc. There's been some behind the scenes support going on there. So I don't question for a minute his integrity or his ability to litigate and file this report. But he was just at the November 12th committee of the whole meeting that I attended at the school district. He is very chummy with the board. And I think that perhaps he should not have been the attorney to investigate this for the school district. That's my personal opinion.
Thank you so much for your comments, Ms. Black.
Additionally, she spoke of Freedom of Information Act requests being ignored by the district. She said that there were times where they intentionally had discussions about how to circumvent Freedom of Information Act requests. Community members also questioned the relationship between Charleston County School District's hired attorney, Mr. Wilbur Johnson, who he was actually appointed by the Charleston County School District to do the investigation. Activists have expressed concern about the relationship between Mr. Johnson and CCSD, and they want to know if he would be able to act with full integrity, knowing that there is some sort of relationship that has existed between him and Charleston County School District in the past. Thank you very much. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Shakim. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your day.